spacewalks are fake. I think the International Space Station is fake. And I think the alleged spacewalks at the Hubble Space Telescope are fake, which I'd like to hear your thoughts on that.
Okay, well, you ask a mouthful, so let's try to break it down one by one. First of all, there is that famous videotape that says that, the moon program was a fake from start to finish, and they list many examples. The main examples are not actually the ones you mentioned, but let me tackle all of them. The first main criticism about our going to the moon is the flag. The moon has no air. There's no wind on the moon. We learned that in elementary school. But there are our astronauts saluting a waving flag. You've all seen that picture. It's on many a website. Our astronauts saluting a fluttering American flag. Say the critics, obviously a fake, because flags do not flutter on the moon because there's no wind on the moon. Another thing they say is, look at the shadows. If you look at the shadows, you see not one but two. And the shadows seem to be at different angles. Now, how can you get two sets of shadows unless it's a Hollywood movie set? A Hollywood movie set. Then you have a bunch of lights, and of course the camera crew don't keep track of the shadows, and one of them slipped out, and there it is, our astronauts on the moon with two sets of shadows, obviously Hollywood shadows, nothing to do with a real moonwalk. And you mentioned several others, but let's take them one at a time. First of all, the flag that flutters on the moon is not really a flag at all. It's made out of tinfoil, for God's sake. Look at the video. In one video, you actually see the astronauts putting the flag on the moon, and you clearly see that it's made out of tinfoil. It's solid. It's not a flag at all made out of cloth. So, of course, it doesn't flutter. It's actually bent out of shape precisely to give the illusion that it's fluttering. But, of course, wind does not blow on the moon. Also, if you think about it, if you have a starry night with the moon, of course, there are two sets of shadows you can see because the moon also casts a shadow. Well, Earthshine is much brighter than moonshine. And as a consequence, of course, you're going to get multiple shadows on the moon because you have sunshine and you have earthshine, which is, as I mentioned, much greater than moonshine. And then you mentioned suits and cooling systems, and hey, let's back up a bit. First of all, on Earth, we have many vacuum systems by which we can test our spacesuits. In fact, I took a film crew from the Science Channel. We flew out to Ohio, where we have one of the world's largest vacuum chambers. We test entire booster rockets, not just little spacesuits. We test entire booster rockets on this gigantic area, much bigger than a football field.
All right, so just on Wikipedia, but the lunar flag assembly was a kit containing a flag of the United States designed to be planted by the astronauts on the moon during the Apollo program. Such flag assemblies were planted on the moon. The 9/11 flags. And so, all right. Where was it? And then the condition of the flags. Here's a sample. And Buzz Aldrin said he saw it in October when they shot up and stuff. And yeah, saying be ashes, destroy the 9/11 flags over time. He explained. Two flags from 11 and 12 did not survive the ignition gases of the lunar liftoff. And then finally on the lunar, scientists Paul Sputis. For 40-odd years, the flags have been exposed to the full fury of the moon's environment, alternating 14 days of searing sunlight and degrees Celsius heat with 14 days of numb and cold, minus 150 degrees Celsius darkness. And more damaging is the intense ultraviolet radiation from the pure, unfiltered sunlight on the cloth modal from which the Apollo flags were made. Even on Earth, the colors of cloth flag flowing in bright sunlight for many years will eventually fade. So, yeah. So, we see Michio Kaku is a disinfo agent just because he's a scientist. Yeah. I'm a theoretical physicist. Why not? But, anyways. Don't. So, we can see the flag. We can see the shadow of the flag, right? Apparently. Is that what this is? Yeah. And then flag shadow for Apollo 12. But where's the lunar module? Let's see, perhaps. Lunar module. Other shadow, gas and hardware. Okay, so let's see, when were these taken? Because what was this from? To show that a few hours after the module left off, the Apollo 15 flight was still standing at point as from the 50 degree. So I don't know. So they were able to capture that. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense, but it's pretty stupid that, Michio Kaku said that it's made out of tinfoil when it's clearly made of cloth. Oh, let's see. Were made of cloth or nylon and were rigged with a wire along the top and bottom, so it looked like they were waving. So, alright. Take care, be safe, be kind, stay strong. Love y'all. Happy Thanksgiving.